makeover and music from Vince Staples. With Leo and the Cleetons. And now, not only that, here's Jimmy Kimmel!
On behalf of the United States of America, I'd like to wish our viewers up north of us and those of you who are visiting from there a very happy Canada Day. Today is Canada Day. It's the anniversary of Canada becoming Canada back in 1867. Canada, in case you aren't familiar with it, is a place where they, for some reason, called Dunkin' Donuts Tim Hortons. But other than that, we're very similar. I try to live every day like it's Canada Day. I do love Canada. We actually owe Canada a lot. You know, until Canada came along, everybody thought bacon only came in strips. Canada proved that it can also be round. They're like the Christopher Columbus of bacon in that way. So happy Canada Day to those of you who deserve it. And this truly is an international show tonight. The winner of the World's Ugliest Dog contest is here tonight. The ugliest dog in the whole world is in the studio. Her name is Quasimodo. Every year in Petaluma, dozens of unattractive dogs journey to Petaluma, and they've been doing this for 27 years. The dogs are scored in a bunch of different categories, like personality, special or unusual attributes, and natural ugliness. Quasimodo did very well in all of those. She really is a weird-looking dog. And I'm not going to show you what Quasimodo looks like yet, but I do want to show you how people react to her. We put a little camera on Quasimodo's head, and we walked her around the office for that. You can see, not only is Quasimodo terrible looking, our staff are terrible actors as well. So later on in what has become a beloved annual tradition tonight, we are going to give the world's ugliest dog a makeover. That's right. The world's ugliest dog will be transformed into the world's slightly less ugly dog. While we're talking about animals, this is something I like a lot. This is a video shot at a farm, and it's a cautionary tale in which one human woman learns a valuable lesson about llamas. What other scenario could she have been hoping for? The llama would grant her a wish? Donald Trump has had a tough week. On Monday, NBC and Univision parted ways with the former host of Celebrity Apprentice, and today Macy's announced they are also severing ties with Donald Trump. In their case, literally, Macy's will no longer carry Donald Trump menswear at their stores. This was a tough decision for Macy's because, you know, Donald Trump is where they get a lot of the hot air they use in the floats in the Thanksgiving Day parade. But now Macy's is getting rid of his entire line of suits. What I'd like to know is who was buying Donald Trump brand suits in the first place? Is it maybe the same people who bought ties from the Regis Philbin Who Wants to Be a Millionaire collection? After Macy's made the announcement, Trump made his own announcement saying he terminated his relationship with them, not the other way around, right? He decided to pull his own clothes off the shelves randomly. He also tweeted, he said, for all of those who want to hashtag Make America Great Again, boycott Macy's. They are weak on border security and stopping illegal immigration. Well, he does have a point. Macy's never has done much to stop illegal immigration. Macy's never talked to you when you were sneaking in here, right, Kimmel?
Never, no.
Trump was on the O'Reilly Factor last night where he explained the human cost of NBC and Univision's decision not to air his Miss Universe pageant. Look at this.
We have 50 of the most lovely women you've ever seen right now in Louisiana, and they have been abandoned by NBC and abandoned by Univision. And I'm going to work it out so that that show goes on. But they have been totally abandoned. Their parents are there. Their families are there. These are fabulous young women. And NBC didn't even think about that when they did it. And I told them, I said, how can you do this to these wonderful women? I mean, they're young women.
Yes, they're young women. These are... And then these, in all seriousness, These young women deserve the opportunity to prance around in bikinis and answer questions about ISIS on television, but I guess NBC and Univision don't care about young women. By the way, the crazy thing is, even with all this nonsense going on, there's a new poll released by CNN today that has Donald Trump in second place among Republican candidates behind Jeb Bush. So if he can find a few more countries to offend, he just might have a shot at winning this thing. In Montreal last night, the U.S. women's soccer team beat Germany. They were underdogs. They beat Germany to advance to the World Cup final. I'm not much of a soccer fan, but I enjoyed watching that game. I think I like women's soccer better than men's soccer. You know what I like about the Women's World Cup? I'll tell you. There's none of this. When they do this, it makes me nervous. It makes me cover my own private part. It's the World Cup. Wear a cup, for God's sake. So the U.S. team will face the winner of the Japan-England game in the finals on Sunday. That was some Final Four. Japan, Germany, the U.S., and England. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The state of Oregon today became the 4th state to legalize recreational marijuana, following in the Funyun-covered footsteps of Colorado, Washington, and Alaska, which means, at long last, finally, the people of Oregon can do exactly what they've been doing all along. It's a weird law. It's legal to have pot, and it's legal to smoke pot in Oregon, but it's not legal to buy it yet, which I think means it's only legal to steal it. I don't know, but you can have up to 8 ounces of pot in your home, which is, let's be honest, most guys in Portland have that much pot in their beards. Last night, Oregonians took to the streets just before midnight to count the new law down, to kind of do like a New Year's Eve thing. And needless to say, the local news teams were on the scene.
Well, guys, the mood is festive and a little chaotic, and I can tell you the crowd has probably quadrupled since we saw you at 10 o'clock. Many here are yelling, "Weed! We want weed!"
We can use a lighter, too, while we're at it. We live in a weird country. It's hard to believe it was legal to get gay married in Alabama before it was legal to smoke a joint in Oregon, isn't it? Meanwhile, in our nation's capital today, so many people have jumped over the White House fence over the past couple of years. The Secret Service is putting temporary metal spikes in on the fence. Last year, one jumper made it all the way to the East Room of the White House, but this is, you can see this is the latest in security technology from 1325. It's impenetrable, unless you own a ladder, in which case it is no problem to get over that. But now, we are now protecting the president's life the same way we keep pigeons from sitting on ATMs. If you're planning to go to the movies this weekend, you have a big decision to make, because there are 2 major sequels that arrived in theaters today: Terminator Genesis and Magic Mike XXL. I'm betting on Terminator to win the week. Nothing against Channing Tatum, but Arnold Schwarzenegger is in Terminator, and if we learn anything from Jurassic World, it's that people love movies starring dinosaurs. So, summer is blockbuster movie season. There are a lot of them, so to help you decide which ones are worth your $12 and your weekend night, we asked our friend Yaya to review some of the biggest of the big movies, and here's Yaya talking about the movie Ant-Man.
The problem, I smile a lot, my eyes close. Hi, it's me, Yaya. I talking about summer movie. I talk about the movie, End of Man. You know, there's this guy, he's come like very small man in the movie, and he can go to the bank, he can go anywhere, you cannot see him. And the guy, Paul Rodeo, he's nice guy. I got a picture with him. He's in the movie, like very small, but I don't know, the poster look very big. You know, it's bigger from anyone. And this guy, Latino, and he's with the movie Brad Pitt, the one with the military, with Shia LaBeouf. And the guy, he's the support to him in the movie, behind him, Michael Douglas. I got a picture with Michael. He's a very good actor, and he's that very big star also, do the movie Spartacus. I don't remember all movie, but I remember a lot of things for him. The one also with the, what his name? Champagne. The movie called Game. And he got also the movie with the lady, what her name? Charlotte Stone, and she sit like this leg with the leg. Yeah, and I don't see the movie, but look, to me, it's a very good movie. Watch the movie, and I watch it soon, because I think it's not coming out. It's come out?
We have to take a break. When we come back from that break, the world's ugliest dog is here for an extreme makeover, so stick around. First, we pay tribute to man's best friend. The world's ugliest dog was crowned in Petaluma, California over the weekend. They do this every year, and taking the top honor this year was a 10-year-old pit bull Dutch Shepherd mix named Quasimodo.
The newly crowned world's ugliest dog took a victory lap around New York City. Quasimodo, named after the Hunchback of Notre Dame, won the title Friday. While she may look different, her owner says she's just like any other dog.
Except she's only half a dog. Yet she, yes, Quasimodo is a girl, is missing a couple of vertebrae, but other than that, she's perfectly healthy and happy. And her owners are here in the audience. Virginia and Mike, hello, guys.
Lots of action. Lots of action, Florida.
You live in Florida there.
Florida.
Well, thank you for coming all the way out here. And
Thanks
has
for having
she
us.
always been ugly, or did this develop over time?
She was born that way.
Born that way. That's how you found her?
That's how we found
Do
her.
you have other ugly animals at home?
Yes.
You do? What do you have?
2 dogs, a cat, an armadillo, a pig, a rooster, some tortoises, a horse.
Wow. You're running a Petco then, huh? All right, so we want to do something special for Quasimodo to make her feel pretty. I mean, let's be honest, nobody wants to be the ugliest anything, even a dog. So we reached out to celebrity stylist Carson Kressley, and he brought his team of hair, makeup, and fashion experts, and we gave the world's ugliest dog a full celebrity makeover.
Oh, Quasimodo! Hello! Are you ready for your makeover? What? Oh, yeah, she is. I thought so. Let's go.
First, we hit the spa to get her in the right mood. Next up, mani-pedis. We had a whole array of amazing wiggery. You know what they say, blondes get more bones. And then we popped over to the Ralph Lauren accessory wall. I think that's a dog smile. And then we searched through racks and racks of clothing. A turtleneck with your body type, not gonna work. I've done a lot of makeovers, but this time we outdid ourselves.
All right, so Virginia and Mike, are you ready to see Quasi's makeover?
Can't wait.
We are,
Absolutely.
we are.
Here it is. Brace yourselves. Here is Quasi, everybody. That is, wow. She's a regular Elle McPherson now.
Yeah.
Wait, she looks like a cross between a Honey Boo Boo and a hooker.
I was actually going for that,
You
except
were.
for the Honey Boo Boo
Tell
part.
us what you did here, Carson. What did you...
I was wondering what I did myself. Actually, we wanted to accentuate her long legs, which I thought was her best feature. So we gave her these little faux fur pom-poms.
I like that,
I
actually.
wouldn't let her wear her cousin.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
And then we did this adult onesie, this like baby onesie, and then I realized it did not have enough coverage because she has like 34 nipples.
Oh, really?
So I just kind of do that. And then everyone loves a pearl necklace.
Sure.
Insert joke there.
No.
And then a little bit of a blonde wig just for fun.
Yeah, I like it.
So
I
she's
think...
a Florida girl.
What do you guys think? Is this a look that you think you will continue when Quasimodo goes home?
Looks a little high maintenance, but we'll give it a try.
Okay, yeah. Think about it. Oh, let's show the before and after photos here. Oh, my goodness, yes, so much better.
Unrecognizable.
You really did a great job, Carson.
really did.
Thank you, Virginia and Mike. Thanks to the team. Wow, you really outdid yourselves. And thank you, especially Quasimodo, for... Quasimodo doesn't know what the hell's going on here, but I'll tell you something. She is now the world's most beautiful dog.
Yeah.
That's right. We'll be right back.
portions of Jimmy Kimmel Live are brought to you by Esha, insurance for the modern world and proud auto insurance sponsor of Major League Baseball.
Bantamweight champion, maybe the most dominant professional athlete on the planet Earth, Ronda Rousey is here with us. And then later, a talented young man from nearby in Long Beach, California. His debut album came out yesterday. It's called Summertime '06. Music from Vince Staples tonight. Tomorrow night, Andy Samberg will be here from the Seattle Seahawks, quarterback Russell Wilson, and we'll have music from Butch Walker, too. So join us then. Our first guest tonight is a Tony Award-winning, Emmy-nominated actor and one of only a handful of performers to have played both Hamlet on stage and Sabretooth on screen. You can watch the season premiere of Ray Donovan July 12th on Showtime. Please welcome Liev Schreiber. See you.
It's nice to see you.
I have to tell you something. You know, I wound up typing your name several times today, and each time I typed L-I-E-V. Yeah, auto-corrected to live.
Yeah.
That would drive me insane if I was you.
It's bad.
Does it bother you?
It's not as bad as when people call me Leave.
Leave is no good. I mean, it's all
right,
about changing your name to Live. I mean, it really just cut.
It's not bad.
Live Schreiber sounds like it's like something that would be on the Daily Catch menu.
Fresh.
I know you're a fight fan, boxing particularly. Are you a UFC fan as well?
I am. I noticed on my way out here that Ronda Rousey is here this evening.
That is correct, yes.
You know, yeah. You know that conversation that you have with your wife when you're in bed and you're watching women fighting on television? And she turns to you affectionately and says, "Do you think you could take her?" And you know that's a trap, that question.
Right.
Ronda Rousey has completely ended that conversation. It will never happen again.
Our warm-up guy thinks he could fight her. He's going to fight her later on tonight. I think we'd all like to see it.
I'd like to see it.
I am suspecting that it would end in tragedy.
I'd like to see it. Is he a big guy?
Yeah, he's a big guy, yeah. But you know what? He's got bad knees, though, and I think that would be a problem.
They're going to be worse.
You box, right? You're a boxer.
No, I mean, I study boxing. I don't box.
You read about it?
I read about it. And I had to play one once, so I trained, and I learned how to pretend that I could box.
I see.
Yeah.
But you do,
and I
do
continue
it for exercise?
Great. Yeah,
you do. And you do all those documentaries. You do the voiceover, the narration for HBO boxing documentaries. So you get to see all sorts. How many of those have you done now?
HBO Sports, dozens, I think.
Dozens.
I mean, I'm not sure. I think dozens.
It's almost unfair that I would bet there are a bunch of like ugly voiceover guys that are so bummed that you get to do that kind of stuff because you shouldn't have that voice and that face.
Oh, stop.
It should be one. You should have a crazy like. You should have like a Gilbert Gottfried kind of voice.
Stop. I get red very easily. I really do.
You do. Oh, I'm sorry to tell you you're handsome. But what I'm saying is, when did you start doing that, like voiceover stuff?
Probably about a year after I got out of school. Some friends of mine had a small boutique advertising agency, and we didn't get much work, so what we would do is we would pitch clients jobs, and you know, we'd do funny voices and things like that to try and get gigs.
Like what kind of things would you do?
I did the Frito Bandito once. Well, the idea was that the Frito Bandito was on the unemployment line, and because I guess Frito wasn't doing that well that year, but. Then somebody comes in with this idea for Cool Ranch Fritos, and then his career was revitalized. And so I was the Frito Bandito trying to remain anonymous on the unemployment line.
Really?
Yeah.
This was the ad agency's idea?
Don't make me.
And
do
shockingly,
it.
shockingly, the Frito people didn't pick that up.
No. I don't know.
Okay, let me see if I have this idea straight.
Fritos.
No one likes our main product anymore, and so now you, a very white man, will be playing the Bandito. We just work from there.
Yeah. We also had a pitch, which we actually did get picked up, is for the Extreme Games, where we had, if you took like those English sort of, the guys, the color commentary guys from like 1936, and exposed them to the X Games, how would they do it? And it was that whole thing of like...
oh, that's a funny idea.
Yeah, like, here we are at the 1936 Extreme Games, and it's quite a pip of a thing, yes. And then the guy is... what's that man doing with that rubber cord tethered to his ankle? By God, he's jumping! And that's the whole thing. So that's...
I didn't know you had that in you.
I didn't either, actually.
You don't play foolish roles.
No, I don't get to do funny very often.
Why is that?
I don't know. You know, I don't...
Are you funny in life?
I think so.
Do your, like, kids think you're funny?
Not really.
No?
You know, when I do, you know, like I have to do the pain, like if I'll do belly flops, and they like that. Or the other day, I asked them if they could jump across the pool and get to the other side, and I said I would do it first, you know, without swimming. You just jump and you go across the width of the pool, not the length.
Right.
And I went across and I smashed my fingers, and I think I broke 2 fingers, and they were laughing hysterically. So things like that.
So they like physical comedy.
They like pain.
Oh, well, that's, you try? Are you really like, are you joking around with them? I'll tell you one thing I did once. Well, I did it a bunch of times. I would yell at them and say, we have to leave for school. It's time to go. And I would open the front door and march outside, and I'd just be in my underwear. And they loved it. They thought it was the funniest thing ever.
I've done that.
Give that a shot.
I know, I have done that. They actually do like this. It's Naomi gets really pissed off.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the vicinity of a school when that happens, I guess, yeah. Well, we're going to take a break. We come back. Ray Donovan, this is your 3rd season on Showtime. Liev Schreiber is here. His name isn't live, everybody. We'll be right back.
See the sun behind this?
Paige thinks it's an elaborate setup.
What do you think?
I think I'd like my son home and this whole business to go away.
So you want me to pay the ransom?
Not unless you have to. But there can be no bloodshed and no press. I have to say that.
No, you don't.
Deal with it as you see fit.
They're Ray Donovan. Liev was saying it wasn't funny. It's not supposed to be funny. Yeah, no bloodshed is probably not how Ray's going to do it. Now, this is the 3rd season. What has transpired between the end of season 2 and the beginning of season 3?
Ray's kind of hit rock bottom. You know, he's doing peep show gigs and sort of set off on his own. And David Nevins, the head of Showtime, said he was interested in a show that shows how money speaks to power in Los Angeles. So Ray goes to work for a billionaire, played by Ian McShane, and that's his new gig.
That's the new gig. Now, Katie Holmes is on the show.
She is indeed.
This season.
She's terrific, yeah.
It's like Ray Donovan's Creek. It's exciting, right?
Yes.
She plays whom?
She plays Andrew Finney's daughter, Paige Finney.
We were talking about your voiceover stuff a minute ago, and you know, you do, obviously, you do things for documentaries and the commercials you're talking about, but you also do some things for certain charitable organizations.
I do.
Quite a few of them, actually.
Well, you know, there are so many organizations and charities out there to support. I think that one of the hardest things for people like you and me is to find the time to do as many as we can. So what we've done is we sort of came up with a system whereby the celebrities can come in, show their support in a sort of general way, and then the organization can come in afterward and sort of fill in the details.
Does that work? Is that effective, you find?
I think so. It saves a lot of time.
Okay. Well, now you brought an example of this,
I think
and well, let's take a look.
Hello, I'm Liev Schreiber, and I'm here to talk about
herpes. Herpes
affects millions of people every year. Yet day after day, we stand back and let
herpes
happen. But together, you and I can take action. We no longer have to be
herpetic.
Please, join me in this fight, not only against
really bad herpes,
but other causes like
automatic weapons, cyberbullying, kitten chlamydia, bad stuff in Africa.
And perhaps one day, we can all share a world where everyone can live without
penis cancer.
So let's take action and do something. Until next time, I'm
George Clooney.
paid for by celebrities who want you to know they really care about things.
Well, I'd love to be a part of that.
That way you only have to record it once.
Subscriber, everybody. Ray Donovan, July 12th at 9 on Showtime, on air and online. We'll be right back with Ronda Rousey. Our next guest might be the most dominant athlete in any sport in the world right now. Her last 2 championship fights lasted a total of 30 seconds combined. On August 1st, she defends her UFC bantamweight title against Betch Kohaya live on pay-per-view. Please say hello to Ronda Rousey. I was worried that you're going to come out and just, to be funny, beat me up, but please don't.
Only amateurs fight for free.
How are you? It's a month from your fight. Yes, exactly 1 month. So, like today, were you punching people today? What did you do?
Well, today I had to consolidate my 2 trainings because I came here. So I did judo and like some mitt work and double end bag. I kind of did everything together.
What time are the trainings? Morning and night?
Yeah. Like I had one at 10 today, and I got sparring tomorrow, like around 11.
Do you enjoy that? Do you like the training part of it?
Yeah.
It is. It's good.
Yeah, you have to enjoy the part where you're paying your dues. You know, you have to enjoy the grind, or else you can't make it all about the reward.
Do you feel like now that you you really haven't faced much competition? I mean, you've crushed your opponents. Do you feel like you can kind of lay back a little bit?
Well, it's plenty of competition. Nobody's easy until after you beat them. You know,
Right.
I'm kind of a victim of my own success in that. I fight above myself the better the competition is, and so as these girls get better and better, I do better.
Do you feel like they are getting better and better?
Oh yeah, definitely. And plus they're all studying me, like specifically studying for me. So this chick that I'm fighting next, I know is doing a lot of judo, like preparing for my style.
You've likened this competition to Rocky IV and to now which character would you be, by the way, in that?
I'm Rocky. I'm
You're
Rocky
Rocky.
in this one. Yeah, specifically. But no, it's like not only am I did like the whole mountain training and hitting the bag like on the tree and everything like that, but it's gotten very personal between me and this girl, much like it did with Rocky and Apollo and Drago and all that. And so I'm going to go beat her in her home country.
Did you really dislike this woman?
Yes.
And why did you decide to have the fight in Brazil, where I assume they'll be rooting for her?
Well, I mean, I fight above myself in Brazil. I do really well there. But the thing is, I just wanted to beat her in the most devastatingly embarrassing way possible. So I wanted to do it in front of her own people. Yeah. And, you know, I'm not afraid to let go of the hometown advantage. She's much more than a hometown advantage away from beating me.
You should show up at her house and beat her up during, like, Christmas dinner at the end.
That's again doing it for free. That's not how I pay the bills. I gotta feed my dog.
I know you're in Expendables 3 with Sylvester Stallone. Does he know about this Rocky thing?
No, I mean, I haven't talked to him about it specifically, but it's a little different than the Rocky IV training that he did. Because if you actually look at the Rocky IV montage, he didn't hit anything. He didn't have any sparring. He didn't do any mitt work. He pretty much showed the montage of him getting in shape for the movie.
And yeah. Well, he was probably really busy back then.
I mean, it was awesome. I was totally into it. But then I watched later. I'm like, Drago's doing all the sparring. He didn't hit anyone to get ready.
That's one of those movies that you look back on sometimes and you go, what was going on here?
It's still my favorite one, though.
You should give the speech. You should give a word-for-word version of that speech about world peace that he gave.
I can't do it.
At the end when he beat Drago and then the Russian. You remember what happened?
Yeah, he said, if I could change and you could change, I ain't changing.
Okay.
I mean, and the thing is, Rocky walked in there saying he didn't like everybody there that much. I love the Brazilian crowd.
Right.
I mean,
yes,
they've booed me out of stadiums. They've chanted, "You're going to die" in Portuguese to me. But they've also been the only crowd to ever cheer for me because the semifinals of the World Championships 2007, I was fighting the girl that was defending world champion. She was like 7 feet tall. I looked like a hobbit next to her, right? And she dislocated my arm, and I popped it back into place, and I was behind. There's 20 seconds left, and I threw her with the one arm that I popped back in at the last second, and everyone just exploded cheering because it didn't matter that I wasn't Brazilian or anything like that. It mattered that they saw something great, and I love that crowd.
Yeah, yeah, I would think that would be any country that would be excited about that. We talked about your mom before and the unusual ways that she trained you. Is she still involved with your training?
Yeah, like she comes and she watches and stuff like that. But you know how like your mom will call and ask you if if you wash behind your ears or doing things like that. Like she will call me and be like, "Have you done your arm bars? Have you been doing enough arm bars? You know, you can't be going away from. You can't just get all excited about hitting things. You have to do your arm." So my mom calls me and berates me about arm bar practice.
Kids, you have to do your arm bars.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at. This is funny because typically what we would show on a television show is a clip of a fight, but because your last fight was so short, we can show the whole fight.
Here we go! Tonight's fight clock. Right down. Look at that. Oh, man. Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Bud Light, Joe. Perfect beer for whatever happens. Ronda wants to make it happen quickly. Yeah, she gave her the arm. She gave her the takeover. Oh, my God.
When you train, and I know you train hard for months for a fight like this, and then it's over in 14 seconds, are you at all disappointed?
No, I'm going to go eat hot wings. I'm really excited. But the thing is, that fight, I mean, I trained for all that time my whole life, and every microsecond of that fight had never been done before in MMA. The girl came at me doing a flying knee, and I did a backward cartwheel off of my head and invented an armbar that had never been done in MMA before.
That's the greatest thing, is because, you know, her and her trainers were probably like, here's what we're going to do. What's the move she came in with?
Well, no one has ever charged at me before, so she came in with a flying knee.
Flying in, whatever, you're just like, oh, squash, over, that's it.
If I walked through like all the decision process and all of the like observations, it would seem like a 5-minute fight. But yeah, it looks short in hindsight. I didn't even know what happened.
It was short. It doesn't look too short in hindsight.
It seemed really long when I was doing it.
If you played that in slow motion, it would last 40 seconds. It was a very short fight. And did you talk to your opponent after that fight? And
yeah.
She go like, oh boy, I didn't expect that.
Well, of course you didn't expect it, but I mean, I really like her. Like, she's one of the girls that I really had a lot of respect for, and I just told her, I was like, dude, we could do this again anytime.
Do you take it easier? You take it easier when you like somebody?
Well, if I make the fight fast, that means I like you. That's me at my most merciful. You know, she got to go home and she got to go home and do whatever with a payment to go buy a house. You know, she had a great night if you think about it. But like with this next chick that I don't like, it's not going to be like that. She's going to walk out looking different than she did walking in.
Wait. When you get somebody in a submission hold like that, you ever think about tickling them?
No, but I am deathly ticklish.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, so if anyone tried tickling me, I would go super ninja. Don't try it.
Oh, you would?
Yeah. It's bad.
Is tickling allowed? No. It is not.
And it's no unsportsmanlike conduct. So.
That's unsportsmanlike? It seems quite the opposite to me. It's like...
Oh, you can't pull hair, you know, but you can swear at the other person. You can chew them out. Nick Diaz is famous for doing that.
I'd like to see a whole tickling league, I have to say.
Well, you could be the promoter of that. You could be the Dana White of the tickling league.
I would love to be the Dana White of the UFT. Well, good luck to you. Not that you will need it. One more question. Will you try to break your 14-second record here?
No. Yeah. No, I'm going to make sure that this chick remembers and endures every single second of this fight.
Yeah, and by the way, in case people think you're just being a maniac, I know the backstory here, and she absolutely deserves it. So it's very good to see you. Good luck. Ronda Rousey, everybody. UFC 190, Saturday, August 1st, live from Rio de Janeiro on pay-per-view. We'll be right back with Vince Staples. Rousey, Carson Kressley. I'd like to thank Quasimodo, and I want to apologize to Matt Damon. We ran out of time for him. Nightline is coming up next. But first, his album, Summertime '06. It came out yesterday. Here with the song Senorita, Vince Staples.
My brother, my Kimmel was serving that. Before I did bleach, my mama seen that. She know how to grip it. She know how to give it. She been a hit. 9mm, my brother, my Kimmel was serving that. Even before I did bleach, my mama seen that. She know how to grip it. She know how to give it. She give it. Run your day, homie. Run your bread, homie. Got some left on me. I'm on up. Parked in my beam, bumping my own hits. I focus, they stuck on that dough. Niggas living for that true religion. That's drunk. I can spin that on the Mac with a long clip. Flying that bitch, but you out of that focus. Boy, with me, come focus. I'm trying to paint you a picture. We stuck in a moment. My burner gets stuck if I shoot it too much, so the killers resorted to dome. That's somebody something to want to be one, baby. Either go hunt and be hunted. We grabbed in the bucket, he called me a crib, so I shot him in front of the bounce, bounce, bounce. Hey, 9mm, my brother, my keeper was serving that either before I did features. My mama, she know how to grip me, she know how to keep me, she ran I get. 9mm, my brother, my keeper was serving that before I did features. My mama, she know how to grip me, she know how to keep me, she keep me, she. What mean the world to you? Is it fast like money clothes? Probably rub, or what would you murder for? Will your name whole way when the curtains close? Only cut one case, but I already told. Snitch get a full clip to close. Won't hug your chick when the hoe. Coach jumper, been shooting no. Still touring with 4 and 2 pairs, ain't still banging 2 nights. Don't run with police, they won't catch me. My feature too pricey, don't ask me. Go hard to go yard on my back. He mad, he won't fight him, don't tag him. Mask up midnight, start clapping. Kiss Christ, still sniping, don't like it. Hey, 9mm, my brother, my kingdom was serving that either before I did features. My mama see that she know how to grip me, she know how to keep me, she been like it. 9mm, my brother, my was serving that before I did features. My mama see that she know how to grip me, she know how to keep me, she been like it. 9mm, my brother, my was serving that before I did features. My mama see that she know how to, she know how to keep me, she been like it. 9mm, my brother, my keeper was serving that before I did features. My mama see that she know how to grip me, she know how to keep me, she keep me, she keep me, she keep me, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Right now.
Hey, I'm just a gut until I fill my pocket. And then I miss it gut. They follow me while shopping. I feel like me get richer. They feel like money wonder. So tell me what's the difference. So tell me what's the difference. Hey, my mama was a Christian. Crib walking on blue water. Was fading up in David. Then walking back to Palmer. A fro like you and partner until Andy had them shoppers. So tell me what's the difference. So tell me what's the difference. Alright, I feel like Versace, they rape my people pockets, and we don't get acknowledged. Just statements for the profit. The profit just like Moses, and Moses look like Shaka. Zulu, my foe loaded. I'm aiming at the thunder. My chillin' like Majaka. They staring niggas trying to wait, and still ain't brought no shots.